and I had always talked about having a small business that we could run together. We're very opposites. She is detail-oriented, loves to run an office and accounting and those kind of things, and I tend to take a bigger picture and maybe drop a ball every now and then. Not a good accountant, but kind of look at things from a broader perspective. And I think it's a good. We made a good pair. So we had this idea of having a business that we could run together, and we'd had this small little hobby winery. So why don't we make that a more substantial business? Well, how do you do that? Well, you need more than just a few backyard vineyards, and you need your own winery, because we were making wine on what's called a custom crush basis, which is you lease space in other people's wineries. So we began looking around. We looked all around this area, looked at up around Lexington Reservoir, looked at the Mountain Winery in Saratoga, talked to a lot of people, and had a few discussions with folks. Nothing was really coming together. And then, as luck would have it, a mutual acquaintance introduced me to the developer of a new resort, golf resort being built a little south here in San Martin, called Cordoval. And their story was a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous 1,700-acre valley, just off the 101. In fact, you drive down there and you drive into this valley and you say, where's this place been? I've never seen this before. But they had an interesting use permit requirement. They wanted to build this club. Originally wanted to build homes all around it, kind of a high-end Silver Creek kind of model. But the local authorities, it's the county's local jurisdiction, wouldn't allow them to do that. So finally they got a use permit that allowed them to build the club, but they had to leave all in open space. Part of the open space had to be dedicated to agriculture. This is an agricultural area. Part of the agriculture had to be grapevines. Turns out it's an historic grape growing area. As the missionaries came north, they planted vines all the way through this area. This valley had grapevines in it prior to Prohibition. So it was an interesting use permit requirement. So when I met the developer, he needed a large vineyard, over 100 acres. I had a vineyard installation and management company with the idea of expanding. So they had what we wanted and we had what they wanted, and that oftentimes is the seeds of a good deal. And that was in October of 1997. It took a while to finally get everything together. Literally within 2 weeks, we kind of had an MOU. It took a while to get all the long-term leases, water rights, and those kind of things resolved. So we put the deal together, installed about 150 acres starting in 1999, built the new facility, opened it in 2002. And that's kind of the second chapter of Clos. Right now we're farming 150 acres. The vineyard is now in full production. Harvest has started this year. We'll make about 60,000 cases of wine this year, which is a long way from 60 cases from our first backyard vineyard. Now, a lot of people say the wine business is a tough business. That's true, it is a tough business. But I like to tell my kids, tell me an easy one. I was in high tech for a number of years. That was not exactly a walk in the park. The wine business is an interesting business, by requiring a lot of upfront capital. You have to put a lot of money in to get it going, and it takes a long time. Grapes, it takes days. So it's a long period of time before you can start getting any return on investment. If you look at a wine company or any wine company balance sheet, you see a huge amount of inventory. I came from the software business, and inventory was something we know. In fact, the standing joke in the wine industry is the only way to make a small fortune is to start with a big one. Everybody laughs at that, and I think the issue is not so much you can't make money. The issue is it takes a long time, and that's sort of the way we look at it. So why do I think we're going to be successful? Well, the first thing is we have a clear vision of what we're trying to do. Clos wants to be a multi-generational family wine business known for consistent quality from estate fruit. If you go to Burgundy, you go to Bordeaux, you vision. Different than, say, a California conglomerate. I keep saying, I used to company, I'm not really interested in having another big company. I want to have a really good company. Multi-generational, I guess we're fortunate, and both of our daughters work for us. My older daughter, Cheryl, does our sales and marketing, and my younger daughter, Kristen, does our events. We do weddings and corporate events and parties and things like that. And that was an interesting story in and of itself. And that both girls, as my wife and I were doing the wine on a hobby basis, both girls' interest in it was really limited to drinking it. They were the only kids I knew that had part of us. Both went to the University of San Diego. They're 3 years apart. Both graduated in 4 years, which is a very good thing from a parent's perspective. I kept telling your experience. Then both worked in San Francisco in high-tech PR. In reasons, in fact, I will never forget the day that my older daughter came to me, and she had graduated. She was working in the city, the high-tech PR, traveling the world, getting promoted, making big money. And she came to me and she says, you know, I just don't like what I'm doing. And I said, what? How can you not like this? You're growing, you're making a lot of money. She says, I just don't like the work. And the problem really was, when I drilled down a little bit, she was a communications major in college and working in high-tech PR. So she was pitching stuff, hardware and software products, that she really didn't understand how they worked. And it bothered her. I mean, she was kind of, she said, that's not what I want to do. But, oh my goodness, okay. Well, what do you want to do? Maybe go to graduate school? Not sure. So I gave her what I call the passion pitch. I said, you know, you've got to figure out what you want to do and what you're passionate about. When you go in the morning, you have to be fired up about going to work, and you're obvious. And if you don't have that passion, the next 40 years are going to be kind of drudgery. So you need to figure that out. She said, oh, okay, I'll think about it. So about a month later, she came back and she said, I think I know what I want to do. I said, okay, great. We'll try to help you any way we can. She said, I think I want to work in the wine business. Well, again, heretofore, drinking had been the primary issue. So we said, okay. So took her to dinner that night, never forget it, up in Clos. She lived in the city, so Clos off for 101. And we're having dinner, and I started to interview her. Now, it's interesting interviewing your daughter. Finally, she said to me, Dad, are you trying to talk me out of this? I said, no, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm trying to find out if you're serious about this. I mean, I don't want it to be like trying to get you to make your bed on Saturday morning. This is a business. We have employees. We have a lot of money at stake. I just can't be something that you do for 6 months just to find yourself. If you're interested in it, there's a real opportunity for you. But if you're not, we need to determine that now. So she did a great job of pitching us and saying, I'm really interested in this. I want to do it. And that was 6.5 years ago. She subsequently got her first level sommelier, passed her first level sommelier exam. So she's into wine and the wine business, learning about distribution and those kind of things. A very similar thing happened to my younger daughter, Kristen, who was interested in event management even in college. In fact, she went to University of San Diego and helped manage things like the Holiday Bowl, the parades and things like that. So that was something she was interested in. And as we built the winery, we needed help with our events business. And she's been with us for 4.5 years. So not only a clear vision of what we're trying to do, but this idea of a multi-generational family wine business is somewhat unique. It's the great wineries in Bordeaux and Burgundy have that characteristic. There are a lot of family wineries in California, but a lot of them tend to get bought up by conglomerates. The classic story is the Mondavis, but very recently, Duckhorn, several other key family wineries have been bought by larger companies. And I don't want that to happen. That's not our idea. So we have a clear vision of what we're trying to do. Hopefully the multi-generation will carry forth. Cheryl has a son, my grandson, who's almost 4. He loves coming to the winery. Machinery, tractors, things going around. He loves going in the vineyard, and he now recognizes when the grapes are ready to eat. There's a process called veraison, when the grapes turn from red to green, from green to red. And when they're green, according to AJ, my grandson, they're too sour. And when they're red, you can eat them. And so he loves going to the vineyard and eating them. Now, little problem with that, wine grapes have seeds in them. Especially when he was young and he still wore diapers. Cheryl didn't care for that. And so I had to try to deal with that. So I said, okay, he still wants to eat the grapes, so I'll teach him how to spit.